So Mr. Naveen Srivastava, Director Operations, welcome.
I'm thankful and I'm privileged to be part of 8th session of IESA.
Can you tell us how is Power Grid ensuring that in your procurement, the climate risks and those aspects are better managed?
We have to see that the quality power, whatever equipments extra is required, has to become up.
So Mr. Naveen Srivastava, Director Operations, welcome. It's going to be about 15 minutes. I will throw him a lot of questions, asking him to respond in 2-3 minutes. So Naveenji, my first question is, tell us a little bit about Power Grid's experience in grid modernization and digital transformation, especially how that can be very useful for all the developing countries, and what is Power Grid's view on next generation of transmission infrastructure?
Thank you, Khanna. First of all, I'm thankful and I'm privileged to be part of 8th session of IESA. And let me tell you, transmission plays a major role in any of the generations to be used up by the ultimate consumers. And that is always, there is a gestation period. You see that in the, any solar plants can come in a very early stage, but the transmission takes much time and it's having its own challenges also. So first of all, let me tell you, as far as grid modernization is concerned, it is very well, we have to be a grid which is resilient, which is digital, which is robust, and we have to see that it is also smart. The grid, smart grid is very, very important, and I'm telling you, as far as grid modernization is concerned, when RE generations, renewables comes into our grid, it comes out lot of challenges. I'm telling you, it is intermittent. You see that the voltage profile, the voltage regulations are having an effect. So grid modernization, first of all, it is required that we have to have the equipments which makes the power in a quality power. Then it is required that how reactive power we can control up. So synchronous condensers, STATCOMs plays a major role in that. So in grid modernizations, these are first part. Second is the digitalization, that I'm telling you that lot of datas are coming, lot of substation and its grids are coming up. India is holding all the 5 in the one frequency, we are adopting it. So these we have to be digitalized, as we already working. All the 280 substations are remotely operated by one of our NTMCs. Even asset managements we have gone into totally digital. So these are the 3 things we have to see, that we have to see that the quality power, whatever equipments extra is required, has to become up. Secondly, it should be digital and it should be resilient. The planning should be such a way that it takes maximum power out of it in a right of way, less light of way.
Great. Now, a lot of countries here are in hurricane-prone area, which also have a lot of floods. Can you tell us how is Power Grid ensuring that in your procurement, the climate risks and those aspects are better managed?
Sir, India is having a versatile like atmosphere. You can see floods, you can see cyclones, you can see droughts also. So we are in India grid, has to be very resilient in that part. The things which is coming up, the line availability should be perfect. I can tell you about Power Grid, we are adopting around 99.82% in our availability. Our outage rate is 0.24. The reason is that we have to, first of all, design our system in such a way that towers, it should be, everybody knows it's a 5 zone, that is a 5 wind zone, that is okay. But you have to see that it is a cyclonic affected towers should be, so that they can impact that cyclonic impact. We have to see that the system which is, suppose anything occurs, we have to bring it in early. We are having almost emergency restoration systems which can bring the line maximum in 2 days. That is also we have to see. We have to see that whatever the substations, and we have to design in such a way that it should nearby whatever the flood areas which has occurred, the historical plays major role in designing the system.
That's very important, because it's not only about the design of procurement, but the contingency plans and the security plans have to be there as well. Let's talk about OSOWOG, because we are also today at a time when we are launching OSOWOG. And now you have interconnections working with Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh, and planning a lot more. How is Power Grid aligning its infrastructure expansion with One Sun, One World, One Grid for regional and global interconnections?
Sir, we are already in interconnections, we have already done. Let me tell you, whenever we go for interconnections, it requires 3 to 4 major impacts which we have to see that. First of all is the technical. You have to see that the designing has been done in proper way. You can see in India when we are connected to Bhutan, we are connected to Nepal, we are connected to Bangladesh, and we are connected to Myanmar. We see that the AC system as well as HVDC, both systems are there. It's a grid collected, or even it is load connected systems are also there. That is, first of all, we have to design in such a way. Second comes out the commercial. We have to have a bilateral agreements and all. We have to see that it should be this thing perfectly, and how to implement it. It can be a many method. We are doing with the Nepal. We have a joint ventures, 50% we are putting it. So regulatory, we have to see that whatever both the countries should be in one platform, whatever regulations are there, even grid codes, operational point of view, that the protection coordination is to be very proper. So we are working properly. We have a lot of countries. All the 3 countries which we are connected is going, and further, in One Sun, One World, One Grid, we are connecting with Sri Lanka also. It's in the planning stage. Similarly, UAE also connection is going to come up. We have already planned and it's approved. We are going undersea with the Andaman, and further it may go up to Thailand or Singapore. That is in the planning stage. So unless we all are connected in one, the actual meaning of One Sun, One World, One Grid, it's only possible when we connect ourselves through expansion, through HVDCs, through AC system, whatever it is.
Great. Tell us a little bit about skills. A lot of countries here would want to become Power Grid in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. How can they tap into your skill base, and what will be your advice to them on how to build a resilient skill force for future, and how they can use your networks?
Of course, Power Grid is also in the learning stage. I don't say that we are perfect, but yes, we are perfectly monitoring, and we are continuously emphasizing on innovations and modernization. That is the first thing which everybody has to do it. Unless you make yourself on the platform where the world is moving. So how it is? You have to digitalize the systems. You have to see that the best which is available in the world, we are bringing it. We have to see that the data is going to be a very, very big aspect, because lot number of substation lines when it's coming. So you have to see that these data are bringing at one point, and it has to be AI based. Whatever analysis, whatever you want to see the healthiness of the equipments and all, it's not possible by manual. We have already done. We are I2P. We have now substation people are having their palm top with them. They are not giving any on the paper writing is no registers and all. That is one data is being filled up. It is going to the system, and now we have a palm systems. We can see the each and every equipment, whether it's breaker, whether it's transformers. We are seeing on one top. We have at our hands also. Management can see. We are seeing the life of the equipments which we are going up. And last but not least, we have to see that our manpower are very skilled. We have to keep them trained out, and we have to see that we have already a Academy of Leadership where we are a lot of African countries people are coming up, and we are training them. But next aspect is that you have enough now electrical engineers. Now you have to go for data scientists. You have to see that the persons who can use the AI system in your system. It is very much required. They have to keep on. You have to collaborate with academia. Power Grid has already done with the MTech in AI and ML. We are sending the people on our cost, and they are coming back and they are putting it to work. So skill development on the upper stage. Secondly, at the lower, the people which has to erect the towers, and there is a scarcity of that. So we have also almost opened 5 skill centers, and further we are moving it. So not only workforce, but also our technocrats are to be trained for future skills.
Thank you. I would like to reiterate that we will really like to expand the Power Grid technical centers to be available to all our member countries.
Surely, no, why not?
So
It's
that's
open,
something that is a very open offer. If you have your transmission utilities who would like to be trained on latest digitized softwares, SCADA systems, and online monitoring tools, we will welcome that. And something very important, Navinji, you mentioned, the world, not only in transmission, maybe in distribution and generation also, is going towards intersection of digitization and electrical engineers. And while today's IT experts don't understand electricity, the electricity engineers don't understand AI. And that is a very, very big thing we see going forward of how the skill set is going to merge. My final question to you, what are the 3 recommendations you would make to all the 125 countries which come with very different backgrounds? What should be their top priorities to accelerate transmission and digitization for interconnections?
You are talking about the interconnection.
In general, if they want to develop into a large transmission systems,
Okay.
what are the top 3 things you will advise based on the journey that you have traversed over the last 30 years?
The very first thing which we have to understand is the planning. Because you all know the gestation period is very small for the solar generation or wind generation. So we have to plan in such a manner where the load is, where is the generations, where the load, this in the collaboration manner, you have to see that where the green hydrogen plants are coming, where you require a battery energy, so that your transmission system is utilized in the proper way. Otherwise, if you put it in one way, it will see that it will be used only for a certain period, and certain period it is less loaded. It will affect the full voltage regulation in the system. So planning is the first thing. Second is the collaboration. You have to see that you have to collaborate with not only with the grid operators, but also executors, also with the systems which is coming out, what the policies, you have to collaborate. And the third part is, which is very much important for the asset management, that you have to have digitalization and innovation in your asset management.
Thank you so much. I think you heard everything that mentioned.